morning, guys. I pulled an all-nighter. Not for any particular reason, I've been up late these past few days, and as a result, I just stayed up late today. Didn't feel like going to bed. But I'm going to a government building to sign up for something where I can get some welfare until my education starts, so I can get a little bit of money at least. Alright guys, I got it done. I got a meeting in a couple of days. Yeah, I think it's just 2 days from now I got a meeting. And then but basically, I'm already gonna start receiving welfare from today, because today I showed up and made I signed up for a meeting today. Welfare is not gonna be much, but listen, I just need a little bit of money, and then I need to help my friend out with rent. Guys, I'm at the supermarket. Gonna hand my bottles in. Let's go. And not overspend. Here we go. That's beautiful. Here we go, guys. I am finally done drilling. This was the last hole that I had to cut or drill. And everything is properly mounted. This is gonna be the bottom box, or the input box, where all the fuse holders are gonna be. I'm gonna have 4 of them here. And then I'm gonna have 2 ideal diodes in series here. I made sure there's gonna be enough space for everything. Right now only 1 fan is connected to this board, but I will eventually connect the fan that's gonna go here to that board as well. So basically what I've been doing most of today is drilling holes. Remember, I'm using a Dremel tool here. Like, it is a bitch, guys. I'm telling you, I wish I had a drill. I would have been done with this in like a day. But then I probably wouldn't have made it as smart, simply because it took longer. I had some more time to think out solutions, because I would have to dedicate a lot of time dremeling and charging up the Dremel tool. And I came up with this. So basically 2 of the corners I got screwed in here, and another 2, they're just going straight through the lid of this bottom box. So the board is technically loose, but the tolerances are so low that it is essentially perfectly in place. And then I take this box, lower it onto here, so that these 2 screws are gonna stick through these 2 holes I've drilled. And it's all gonna line up perfectly. Yep, even one-handed. There you go. And then I simply add this lid here. Boom. And that's what it's gonna look like. Minus this screen right here. It's gonna be in there as well. There's also gonna be another input port here. Oh yeah, and also on the back there's also gonna be another port there. But this is essentially what it's gonna look like. Now all that remains is basically making the cables and also modifying the fuse holders. My cousin picked them up from the postal office, because I had them shipped to his address before I had an address here. So I'm going to him tomorrow to pick those up, and some spare inner tubes for the electric unicycle, guys. I'm getting ready. Like, I'm not just sitting here. I know not a lot is happening, no tending or anything, but I'm taking care of some important shit. And yeah, just give me a little while. Let me get some money. Let me pay my friend who's been helping me, letting me stay here. I need to help him out with rent. I simply need to. I gotta give him a good bit of money. But yeah, we are moving along with the nomadic dream. I mean, I would have never imagined having something like this ready, minus the cables. And this, like, before the year is even up, I'm basically gonna have like 90% of the way to an ideal setup, in my opinion. And I even have some things that I didn't consider back then. Like, I didn't even used to think about a fishing rod or a bunch of the little bits and bobs that I got now, little tools and stuff. Uh, yeah, it's just so much. Like this thing is gonna come in handy because it comes with this thing right here. So I essentially have all the hex and Phillips head screwdrivers and all that I need, and it's very, very lightweight. Um, it's just a bunch of things I've accumulated. I do apologize for this daily vlog being kind of boring recently, and it's gonna remain a little boring unless you like to see the whole journey. I mean, most people, they just want the clickbait, right? They just want to see some dude with a heavily edited thumbnail about, oh my god, check this out, I gave up on society, I'm just living like this, it's super easy, bro. Yeah, it's easy if you're rich, you know, but the people who actually want to quit society like that and live nomadically, they're typically at the bottom of society. And I just thought that it would make sense to actually genuinely show you guys what it takes, not just when it comes to resources. I'm capable of doing this relatively cheaply because I have skills to build stuff like this myself, but also in terms of the time and the setbacks. And, you know, for me, I just assume setbacks are gonna happen. I just assume things are gonna take longer than I imagine, and that my plans are gonna have to keep getting postponed. Partially from being broke, but also partially from that's just how life works. And in some cases, it's actually a blessing in disguise. Like, if I had had a drill, I would have not connected these two boxes together. I would have made such a dumb setup with having two individual boxes that would have to connect with multiple wires back and forth. It wasn't really that well thought out. Well, it actually was. I spent more than a year working on it, but even now, I still keep finding ways to improve it. But yeah, guys, I'm never gonna bait you in. I mean, sure, if I get a laptop, maybe I'll make some better thumbnails, go a bit more in depth with the editing. I really hate editing on phones. Um, but I'm never gonna be this clickbaity, you know, Mr. Beast YouTuber, Casey Neistat, whatever you want to call it, where the first 10 seconds or 30 seconds just pull you right the fuck in and then just lull you into watching the rest of the video. Guys, I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Like, I don't have any ulterior motives of making any money or anything here. Basically, my hope is just to inspire other people to become more minimalistic or even nomadic. You know, you don't have to go all out like me, but even just entertaining it, even just learning about some of these different things, I think is definitely worthwhile for breaking the conditioning. You don't have to be a slave, dude. You don't need a job. You don't need permanence in your life. In fact, permanence is only going to become even more of a rarity going forward because of the economy going into the shitter. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I am preparing for how to live in this new world and how to find a new type of existence to live in this new world rather than holding on to all these old ways of living and behaving and saving up and providing traditional ways or means of safety. Because what you think is safety today is not going to cut it 5, 10, 20 years down the line. And I intend to live for that long and longer. So, yeah, I'm not going to hold on to some dead or dying past world with how jobs and careers and stuff used to work, man. I am just going to find my own way in this world. And I will say, I'm actually positively surprised by myself by how smooth everything has been going for me. I mean, there's been a few setbacks, but nothing that's really knocked me out of my path or defeated me to the point where I'm like, yeah, this can't be done. I mean, of course, there's Mike dying, there's Dion leaving, there is having to basically stay here half the winter, if not more. There's a lot of things that I didn't want, but ultimately, and rest in peace. Okay, I don't mean anything bad by this, but ultimately, I am better off with the way things turned out. I would have loved to travel the world with Mike. I would have loved to travel with Dion for however long he wanted to. But ultimately, guys, I'm fine. And every day things are getting better and I'm moving along. I don't have any grudge. I don't think any bad thing for what has happened or how slow things have gone in this journey. I'm just thankful for everything that I've already achieved. And, I keep setting myself up to achieve more and to get further. I don't let myself just say, oh, well, I guess I'm just an apartment dweller now. I guess I'm just gonna be paying rent now for the rest of my life. Nah, dude, like, I'll help my friend out with rent. Um, because he's helped me out. And you guys might say, oh, you're not helping him out with rent. Well, in a sense, I actually am, because he would have not been able to rent this apartment out to anyone else that would have been an upstanding person. Uh, and so he would have just ended up getting screwed over, getting a nasty apartment and no money, which happened with the loud friend and with Mike as well. Um, so if it wasn't for me, this place would have been a fucking mess. And yeah, he would have had to clean that up himself and still keep paying for it and not having me around. But yeah, slow days, not a lot of progress. I am just slowly chugging along. But tomorrow, I'm going to Copenhagen, picking up the last of the components I've ordered from China. Except today, I actually spent my last money in my account, last 120 krona. I spent buying a new screen for my phone and some covers for these. Let me show you. Some rubber covers for these connectors here. Let me. You see how okay, so this is the input side, but just imagine this is the output. Just imagine this is 42 volts right here. And imagine I go to grab the box, but then I accidentally touch these two. That's 42 volts going through me. And I know it's just going through the finger, it's not going into my heart or anything. But guys, I don't mess around with electricity. I just don't mess around with electricity. So I ordered these silicone covers that you can install on here, where you can push them in and it's not going to be able to conduct anything. And also this box is going to be covered in PVC shrink, the kind of blue plastic heat shrink that people put on battery packs when they're finished building them. I'm going to apply 2 layers of that and silicone, like liquid silicone around all these edges here, all the edges around the screens and the connectors and everything, so that when the heat shrink shrinks, it's going to shrink onto the silicone, the liquid silicone, and it's going to form a tight gasket, so to say. I'm looking forward. This thing's going to be fucking perfect. Don't mind all the scratches and like the ugliness. This thing is going to be wrapped up. The only things you're going to be able to see is the screens and the connectors, which you're not going to be able to short yourself out on. And you may ask, well, why did you pick, why did you pick the XT90E male connectors for the for this port right here? If it is so dangerous, why not just use the female port? Well, I don't know, man. I like having the cables have the female side. For me personally, I think it's safer. Mind you, you need one of the silicone gaskets. Um, but yeah, for me, it's just a matter of the electric unicycle outputs an even more lethal voltage of 100.8 potentially while fully charged. And I would much rather get 42 volts going through my body at a limited amperage, which is going to be limited by the XY12 522S module. Yeah, I think I got that right. I can limit the amperage output to match with all the wiring and the capabilities of the different modules. So it's going to be limited, whereas what comes out of the electric unicycle of the charge port is basically just all it can take. So if I were to fiddle around with some cables and accidentally short myself on the umbilical cable from the electric unicycle, that's basically GG right there. Guys, check out what I'm up to. I pulled this thing apart, the old vape. This was actually Mike's disposable vape. But yeah, It had a pretty good battery in there. These are all the components I pulled out. It had a very nice battery, a 850 milliamp hour battery. Typically 550 milliamps is the biggest you see in these disposable vapes, or at least the ones in the like Portuguese and Danish market. But yeah, 850, that's pretty fucking good considering this one right here has, what is that? It's got to be like 280 to 360 milliamp hours, something like that. But you see, guys, I've been having an issue. I'm using my internal resistance meter right here. And, oh my God, how do I even test this? I think I'm going to have to use some different attachments here to test this so you guys can see. Or actually, yeah, I think I have to. Okay, so basically I got these things hooked up now. I can't actually test the internal resistance without they're hooked up. You need 2 points of contact. But for measuring the voltage, this is fine. And this thing was sitting at 4.11 volts yesterday, and it's just been steadily decreasing. I'm not sure if it's actually the battery that is bad, or if there's some kind of leak anywhere in the circuit, if something is heating up and losing charge. So I'm gonna try and disconnect the battery now for a few hours and see if the voltage decreases further. But yeah, I have a suspicion it will. It is well, not an old battery, but it's been used quite extensively and been charged at too fast of rates, and I don't know about the discharge rates, if that's been too fast for what it's rated for. But this thing should more than be enough, both for the fast charging and discharging that could occur in this circuit here. It's just a light that I built into a metal box for cigarillos. But yeah, let's see if the voltage falls any further. And tomorrow when I'm going to my cousin, I'm gonna get all the tools that I need. I'm still gonna build the wires with him. I promised him as much, to give him a little course in welding and crimping and heat shrink application and all that. But yeah, I'm gonna need to bring it over here first. There's some things I need to fix. Also, this power bank that I made, I need to properly attach those resistors here. I need to solder those. Also need to use this internal resistance meter to test these 4 21700 cells. I am not sure how good of a condition they're in, and I don't want this thing igniting into a fire in my backpack. You have to consider these cells are M50T cells from LG, the ones that are notorious for all the electric unicycle fires from 2020 to, well, today, I guess. But these, I already tested them in Portugal before I left for Denmark. The internal resistance was good on them. They didn't heat up. Charging, discharging, all fine. And this is a low amperage application. So all things considered, they should be fine. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd get 4 21700 cells from elsewhere, but currently I am just gonna have to use my skills instead of money, because I don't really have any. Check it out, guys. I am getting real fucking good at making this. The gravy is improving every day. The crunch is improving every day on these. I mean, at the end of this, when I finally get some more money and I can like change up what I'm eating, man, I am gonna be so good at making this for the future. I'm just talking to Stony now. Gonna go back over and relax.